actually was going to use this video to show you guys my methods section that I've already started to build, but I didn't know how to use Teams correctly, and it got a little bit messed up in the part where I was actually showing you the methods section, and I honestly wasn't that satisfied with it anyways, but I made this really surprisingly long intro about my story and as a survivor in college, and I just took that as a sign that it needed to be like put out there on its own and that my method section can wait for another video. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy my story. Although this is kind of insane, like this is just insane that I'm even here, like that I'm even at this part of the video. I'm honestly shaken. I feel like my entire perception of reality just shifted today. I don't even know. Like I think after I've been reading and reading and reading, right? I want to get to 60. I'll probably read more, but I wanted to get to 60. I finished my 50th one today. 50th. I have 10 left. I know I have 10 left. I'm a little bit shaken. Oh my god. And it just feels like, and then also my methods section came together today. Actually, after I finished my last video on this, I just started to get all this, like, these waves of inspiration just hit me over the last day or two. It all started in this planner, and then it migrated onto a new document that I'm going to show you about my methods section, and into my ChatGPT. So we're going to take some time to, like, put the ChatGPT stuff onto the document, and then I'm going to tell you guys about it. I'm also going to be doing, but before we go into that, I wanted to kind of talk just about the more emotional side of this or personal side of this, and I'm going to be doing something that I usually do in my videos that have nothing to do with science, just for fun, but I'm going to be oiling my hair because I need to wash my hair today. I'm just using the Vatika garlic multivitamin hair oil. As you can tell, I really like this hair oil. I use it a lot, and I actually think it's better than some more expensive stuff I've tried for my hair. As I've mentioned in past videos in this playlist or about this process, it's been feeling a little bit strange for me. Like I feel like I haven't quite been able to process that it's me doing this. Granted, I do struggle with dissociation, so maybe that's just a dissociation thing, but it's like really bizarre. I think like to be here, it feels really strange because I feel like I spent so much time in like my life speaking negatively of myself or just doubting myself, not really feeling like I was someone who could put the effort in and really see something through. Or, I always really admired people who people like my age, whatever, younger people who had the, I guess the stamina, dedication to really enact something and just really put something into the world of their own. People who could make student films or, I don't know, start their own businesses at a young age and stuff like that. And I didn't really think that I was the kind of person to do something like that. But I always had ideas of things that like I wanted to do. And, but I would always just tell myself, like, you don't, that's not me, or I'm not the kind of person who really has like the kind of organization and follow through to do something like that. I think also I was undiagnosed with ADHD growing up, and then I got my diagnosis at 19, but it still took me a little while to figure it out and really get myself into a good place. But I think that a lot of my attempts to really try at something in the last few years, I think really painfully didn't come to fruition for me. So for example, particularly in college, I had a lot of really like emotional situations about that. I was involved, like I put forth a Title IX trial against the person who committed sexual violence towards me it started when I was 19. I was working on that for 2 years. 2 years of school, I was, trying to get justice for myself, right? And it was not an easy feat. And like, I really put my all into it. Like, I think when you're going through a process like that, if you don't know what a Title IX trial is, I meant to say that, but it's basically like through basically there's a department that every university is required to have, and that department, so the Title IX, I guess, department deals with gender-based misconduct. So that includes things like sexual harassment, rape, things like that. And so if anything happens to you on campus, like you're sexually assaulted or something, and you want the school to try to do something about it, you basically go through. There's all they will offer you different options. Restorative justice, where you're like having a conversation with the person. I was like, get it that way from me. But anyways, I was like, but you can also do just like an investigation and really go through with that. And it's almost like a legal trial, but it's a bit different. It's not exactly like a legal trial at all. And of course, it's going to be a punishment through your university. So after I recovered memories, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go for it. Like I was really, I just put my all into it. Like I know that. I feel like a lot of people, like, I mean, just out of like lovingly as well. And I think I've never heard of a person actually do it successfully. I've never heard of, even in just like the justice system, it probably happens, but I've never actually heard a story of something like that going successfully and actually making its way like all the way through and somebody really getting like the justice that they deserve. It usually doesn't go that way. And I knew that. I think a lot of people also like made sure to remind me or like told me, but I was like, no, I'm going to like try 100%. I'm going to put that full effort in. And it was a really massive task. I was in that trial, like, I was a complainant in the trial for about 2 years. It was like a 2-year long process or so. And because I started it at 19 and it finished when I was 21. So anyways, and it was like hours of interviews and people like interviewing me, essentially, like investigators. It was like hours long, like triggering information I was like going through over and over, and then they go and they question other people, they come back, they question you again, and with all the information that they got. And so it's like hours and hours. I guess sometimes I would have to wake up like 8 in the morning, whatever, for interviews, right? And then on top of that, it's like a really, really time intensive, emotional labor intensive process. You have to like at one point, like it was getting near the end, and there's like a moment where you have to write, if you want to write a rebuttal. So I literally maxed out the amount I could. Like I wrote 10-page single spaced rebuttal. This was in the middle of like, like midterm season, kind of like everything. I was writing like just extensively, like just all of the reasons, and I was actually getting hopeful. Like I felt hopeful. I was like really putting in like this extended time and effort into it and feeling like, oh, I'm really like combating it. Like I'm really like, I'm pointing out all the issues. I'm really doing this. I'm really doing that. Like all of this seems so logical. And I feel like like it's not really even going the way that I think I was like afraid it would on like the other person's side and all this stuff. I was really like, oh, I'm putting the work in, and it's like all this stuff. Like usual, got to the end and very little actually happened, like very little happened. It wasn't, I don't know how much detail I can even go into, but nothing really happened actually. And it was really, I mean, I was expecting it, but I think because I was putting in so much effort and I was like, I feel like I'm being so logical and I'm just felt like I was doing so good and like things were like stacked for me in terms of like the way that the other person's story played out. I was like, maybe I'll actually like win this. It didn't, like I didn't. And it was really disappointing because I put 2 years of my life into it and I really tried. Like it's really hard to try 100% at something and go all in and not get anything from it. It's really disappointing, I think, first of all. So in the midst of that, so right in the semester after that, I was my last year at school. So I was in my second semester, senior year. I started writing an undergraduate thesis my first semester. And actually, in the beginning, I wasn't 100% sure that I wanted to go. I was like, should I actually? Hi. I was like, should I actually? Because I was like, I feel like I'm not the kind of person who, like, I was like, what if I don't finish it? Or like, what if I procrastinate? What if I don't do well? All this stuff. Because it's a really big thing. It was like a big paper, like 40 plus pages long. But I was like, I really want to. I was like, I think it'll be really good for me. Like, I really felt like called to. And I'm so glad that I did it. It's literally the best decision I ever made. Like, in hindsight, I'm like extremely grateful, and it led me here. But in the moment, actually, so I like everything was going great for semester. I was like keeping up. I actually wrote something really good. I felt ahead. And I had gotten through that first semester where the trial, like the Title IX investigation was ending. I was like doing amazing. I was getting like straight A's, literally. I think like just the adrenaline of like everything going on. I got straight A's for the first time in my entire school, like college career. And then second semester, I basically like, I think everything just like crashed on me. Like the very like right in the end, like right before final season of my first semester was when I actually got like, I guess, the final verdict, and it was really really like crushing. Actually, at the time it was like horribly crushing, and I felt so much grief. And I think I just went into the second semester with so much grief and so much just emotional baggage. And also I think I felt really like upset. It's really hard to feel like a school administration really like did you dirty for nothing and then you're still there. And I think I just felt resentment, and I felt so much resentment towards my university as well at the time, and was just like really, I think it was a really difficult environment for me academically. I was struggling with my mental health like horribly. And looking back, I think, and I was trying to tell myself this as I went along, I was like, you know, it makes sense. It makes sense for you to be in, and like it's hard how I think like I had to really be kind to myself and be like, the fact that you're just graduate, like the fact that you're even graduating is like a good thing, and it's like it's already really difficult enough given the circumstances. But as you can tell, I'm a high achiever, so I was really frustrated because I started to like, I didn't do so well in some classes. I had gotten A's and B's the entire school, like my entire school time. And then the last semester I was having such issues. I got 2 C minuses that should have been F's. Really, they were just nice to me, and I feel, and yeah, I mean, I do feel like I deserved it because I was going through a lot, but it wasn't like academically, I feel like I wasn't even really, I think they were just like, you know, if I fail 2 classes, I'm not going to graduate. So, um, I think they did me, some of my professors did me that kindness. The only thing I really wanted to work on was my undergraduate thesis. If I could have like shaved everything else off and just worked on that, I would have been the happiest person alive. I literally loved it. It was my first time that actually I started writing about dissociative disorders, and I was fascinated. I was reading. It was like all I really wanted to do. It was like the only thing that of everything I was doing that felt like easy, and I just felt like good, and I could do it for like hours at a time. I was like in love with it. But I had like other classes to attend to, and I was literally like getting like failing like other classes and stuff. So I didn't really have like the mentality. I think I wasn't like, I couldn't have the capacity to really go all in. And deadlines started rolling around, you know, first deadline, I asked for an extension. Then I had to get another extension at the end. And I was just like unable. It was like, honestly too, I think that I didn't know at the time what I was getting into. Like because it actually started to like it started to become what I'm working on right now. Like it was this that I was working on, but I didn't really see it as that yet. And I was like, there's something missing here, because I was a comparative literature and societies major. So it was a comparative literature and societies thesis. And I was like, I'm writing this, and I was like, I feel like there's something I can't connect. Like there's something I'm not getting, and I didn't know how to reach it to that point, like within the time frame. I was like, you know, there was something just not clicking. Anyways, but yeah, I just had such an emotional like, actually at the end, like I was so genuinely disappointed. I didn't even go, because I would have even been like eligible for like departmental honors and stuff like that, but I just literally like I couldn't, because I didn't submit. Like I was writing a thesis, and then I didn't get to submit it. And then I actually like, I'm such an overachiever for nothing. Like my GPA ended fine. Like it was actually a good GPA, but after my adrenaline induced straight A streak, I was like, my GPA is looking nice. Like if I keep this up, I'm going to have such a good GPA at the end. It's going to be like higher than I thought I was going to have. And then got 2 C minuses, and I think that my GPA was also a bit, I don't know. But anyway, so then I didn't even go to like my department's like graduation like ceremony party, because I just felt sad, and I was like, it's gonna suck to be there and just to be like everybody who I admired so much. Like I feel like I admired everybody in my department like so much, and like my peers like were so smart, like amazing writers, super smart. I was like, I felt sad because I was like, I didn't get to finish. Like, I know that's so silly, but I was like, I really felt like it was like, I felt really disappointed in myself, and it was just like, I think like the main, like the deep down hurt was that I really wanted to go to, like, I went to like a top university. I worked like all through high school to get in, and then I feel like because of my mental health, I never really got to live up to like the academic standard that I wanted to, because every semester I was asking for extensions. I was like severely, like genuinely, like severely mentally ill. I was like struggling with like really severe like PTSD and stuff. Honestly, like I had to get to the end and I was like, the fact that you graduated is insane. Like I had like 7 different like health, like mental health scares. Like the fact that I graduated is like that, yeah, that's where all my hard work went. It just sucks because no one's giving you an award for like surviving with your mental health. No one's giving you an award for that. So I was like, I was watching all of my peers who didn't like, who, I mean, probably had like a lot of their own challenges, but I was like watching everyone at graduation get like their awards and all these things. And I just felt grief because I was like, I didn't ever get to devote myself 100% to like my academics because I was so busy surviving, and my academic time was like just a reflection of just me surviving my way through school rather than feeling like I got to really like indulge and really enjoy myself and etc etc. Like I was just graduate, just finish the class. Like every semester, like I said, I was like, okay, I'll finish the class over the summer, I'll finish the class, you know what I mean? And I never, like every time winter break rolled around, summer break, whatever, like winter break, I never just went and spent time with my family. Like I was always finishing like my assignments. Like I was just went home and my family wanted to hang out with me. I was like, I'm sorry, I have to finish my finals that I got extended. So it was just really painful, and it was like really, really intense for me with my mental health, but it made me feel really sad. And I think it just made me feel like the sense of like, what's even the point in like putting all of this work and all of this intention and energy into it. And it's like, it's so crushing to feel like nothing like really closes up. This is sounding depressing, but we're gonna swing it up now. But like my mom says, I think she got this from some kind of Buddhist story. You never know what's bad and what's good. Because I left and I was so upset. I was like, no, like I hate being someone who doesn't finish things. Like that's not who I want to be. I was so frustrated every semester. I was like, I want to get to I want to finish on a deadline. I want to be done. Like I don't want to be that. And again, I think sometimes I'm hard on myself, but I was like, I don't like that as something that I'm going to carry into my life. And so I actually, like I set everything up. I moved, went into psychology. I was like, I think that was like a necessary move for me. Like I think I was needing that environment too. I went into psychology like as a research assistant. Then I was like, it's a mission. Like we're finishing the thesis. Like I don't care. I finished it. I didn't submit it for a grade. I didn't submit it for anything. Nobody's like read it. Nothing. I finished it though. Like I put in the work by myself to get that thing done, and like it's done, you know? At least I can say I have it and then I did it. And that was really rewarding for me. This was like I finished, I think probably around this time last year, like July, August, I actually started working on it again and finished it in like November or so. And that was really important because that's when all the neuroscience stuff like clicked into it. Because by then I had read Rethinking Consciousness by Michael Graciano, and that's when I started to really get together, like started thinking about cortical attention. I was like, this was what my thesis was missing. I was like, there was this little piece that I didn't know how to fill the blank, you know? So that was like a necessary move. And then because of that, I was like, now I have like a theory, you know? Because I think I was actually developing a theory in my thesis without really realizing it, I suppose. And then I was like, now we have a theory. And I think that theory carried me through like the next few months of like, okay, now we're applying to things. We're applying to like master's, you know what I mean? And so then I was like, I was writing proposals. I was writing all this, not, they weren't successful. But I think me finishing something on my own was the win that carried me here, because I was like, now, I think actually as someone who spent a lot of like my adolescence and stuff like really craving that validation, like academic validation, not getting it was like one of the best things that ever happened to me, I think. Or like really rupturing my relationship to school at that time was really important, and just being like, you know what, like I'm putting so much like care and like having this whole relationship to something that like doesn't love me back. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm loving like a system of academia that like I don't know. I think I just started to get like, I like not because all of my professors like they were amazing. I am so like I'm so grateful and stuff for like all the professors that I ever met and et cetera, et cetera. But I think just like academia, I was like, this is hard. I don't know, like I think I just started to be like, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if you're like approved of by like white men at like an Ivy League school. Like it doesn't really matter. And I started to be like, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to like keep going for things that are like, oh, highly esteemed school, or you know what I mean? Well, I'm still going to a good school, but I'm just saying like I think that it broke that relationship for me where I was like, oh, this is stupid. Like I don't need to be sitting here and like everything doesn't have to be about college. And I feel like people make that system so that the colleges hog all the information and hog all the research and all this stuff. It's like I can just do it myself. Doesn't matter. And like also I think just like the feeling of like I felt so deeply like upset when I didn't finish it, but I was like, you know what? Nobody has to validate me anymore because I already didn't get the validation. And it's like when people weren't like 100% responding the way I wanted them to, I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, yay, thank God. It doesn't even matter anymore. I'm free. I'm free from the chains of academia. I can just learn because I love it, and I can research because I want to research, and I can do it for me. I don't have to do it for a deadline. I don't have to do it for anything. Like I can just do it because it's important and not sit around and like, I think not having a deadline, I finished something so fast in like the most unreal way. And I'm like, this is insane. Like what? So I think I was just like, just that breaking of a part of like, it doesn't matter. Like the chains of academia are broken now. I don't have to think about a deadline. I don't have to think about, you know, is this a good enough idea? Is this fitting the standard that somebody needs me to fit it? Like, is it too ambitious? Is it going to be approved of? Am I going to have to, you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to follow this like academic wormhole that I've fallen down because it's important to me and get my own closure, you know, to like like I didn't get closure from my university. They weren't the ones to like bring that justice to me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it myself the way that it needs to be done. And like, I think it informed me so much. I was like, this is deeply missing. I was like, this is so missing from the story is this that I'm doing right now. And like, it needs to be there because without it, nobody's going to get the justice that they deserve. And it's not just me. Like, it's a lot of people. I did the research myself. I read the Title IX, like literally the Supreme Court, like documents and everything. Like I was like, this is insane. Like so many people are feeling unhappy. So many of people are feeling like they're not getting their stories heard. And I was like, I can do it. Like I got this. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you guys my method section. I'm shaking right now. I'm actually shaking. I think, oh, okay. The last thing I was going to say is that I think this has been like so unreal for me because I think I'm like, I almost feel like dissociated from it. Like this is not my identity because I'm like, I have followed through so deeply and like, it's actually like, I feel like the last 2 years I have put in constant, like, I feel like I've gone like above and beyond in my life. I think partly from the shame of not feeling like I was like keeping up in college. I was like, I went out and I was like, I am like working myself like constantly because I was like, there's just no way. Like I can't disappoint myself anymore. And like, I just can't do it. And I just feel like I have put in like 110%. And I think I'm not used to things like paying off for me, working out for me. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is starting to pay off and this is starting to work out. And like, that's insane. Like, I don't know. That's just new for me. I don't think it even makes sense to me yet. It's like weird to wrap my head around. Like, this is working. And like, I don't know. Yeah. So I think it's been really identity shifting and just being like, I am someone who follows through on things. I finish things. I'm doing this. Like, it's happening. Like, it's actually happening and I'm actually doing it. And it's like, nothing can stop me. Like, nobody can stop me, like, at all. This is happening. You guys are getting this research paper. Like, it's going to be on the YouTube. You get me? So, yeah. Okay, so let me show you the methods section.